Well, it's early Wednesday evening here in Ottawa. It's a blustery day, man. It's getting cold, almost some snow in the air. And of course, today, one of the issues that's on my plate is my office. I've gotten calls from a couple of people who have given me a heads up that the government actually is going to change my office because I'm no longer, of course, a part of the government. Now, the way it works here in Ottawa is that each party is given a block of offices. Each whip of the party is given those offices, and they kind of dispense them among their members. And of course, in Ottawa, like everything else in Ottawa, where your office is supposed to say something about you, whether you're important or not important. It's like your title and the size of your office, where your seat in the House of Commons is. There's all kinds of ridiculous things to tell you whether you matter or not. Well, as we all know now, I don't matter, at least in a conventional sense. So, my building that I've been in for the last little while is called the Justice Building. And it's very nice. Recently renovated. It's a heritage building. And but the problem is it's full of conservatives. And a lot of those people have their offices close to mine. And there is some speculation that this nice office building that I have been assigned and this lovely office that I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes may, in fact, not be my office for all that long. Now, there is obviously lots of precedent for this happening. When some members of Parliament have gone from being members of the government or a certain party, they've had their offices moved. And it's, a bit disruptive. The only issue right now, of course, with us is basically how much this is going to cost the taxpayer, and is it really worth doing? I don't know. You can make the argument whatever you want as somebody out there paying the bills, but it is a consideration because if we do move out of this building, I've got to print all this stationery again and business cards and letterhead and a whole bunch of other stuff. Besides, we've got MPT to worry about, MPtv. And as we go in here, Bill, why don't you get in there first? Obviously, MPtv, we built a little studio. We're going to show it to you upstairs in a couple of minutes. And we're all wired in. And, of course, that's going to be a bit of a disruption if we have to unplug all of that. May actually not end up being on the air for a bit. But, we'll just deal with that as it goes along. Well, we're going in. This is, by the way, the lobby. You can see here the Justice Building. Bill, do you want to see? I don't know if you can get that or not, but the Justice Building here is basically built in the 1930s. I think it was one of those projects that was from the Depression. Make-work project, part of building this capital city. And it's actually a fairly impressive building. And it was renovated, as I say, a few years ago now. They put a lot of money into it. But it's gorgeous. You got this big lobby and all this marble and everything. But let's go up in the elevator and pop up to the office. And let me show you. Now, the office that I'm in, before me, the occupant was Vic Tays. He is now the Justice Minister. And you see him on the news all the time. And it's kind of a nice office. Vic is now down a few floors. He's got a beautiful big, here we are, beautiful big corner office now because he's the Minister of Justice. But the office that I inherited from him is no slouch. It's pretty good. So you come down this hallway and this whole building was gutted and all the wiring was done. So it's a very actually high tech, even though it's in a heritage building. All right, here we are. So this is the main room. Which has got a couple of workstations. That's a mall. Over there, show them all. There she is. That's a mall. That's where she works, and she keeps me organized, gets my schedule going, etc. Bill, let's show them your little studio in here. So this is where we have MPtv. And in this room, which I guess is designed to be a room for an executive assistant or some support staff, we actually have taken it and turned it into a little mini studio here. So we're able to do editing, we're able to do the encoding, we're able to capture question period, things that happen in the House of Commons, and of course we have a little studio that we can actually have guests in and record little episodes with them and then get all of this on the air. So it's worked out pretty well. And all this equipment, by the way, was bought by me, so it's not the taxpayer that's been on the hook for any of it, and it works actually pretty well. Okay, so we come back through here and we go into my office. This is pretty cool. I mean, you like this. This is a nice big office here. I've got my little political mementos on the wall and things that I've done over the years as a politician and a cabinet minister and a leadership contender of the Progressive Conservative Party back in the olden days. And it is a pretty good office. I'm pretty happy with it. Got a nice view over the city of Ottawa, etc. And one thing that you might find of interest here is the fact that we've actually just moved in a few months ago. Haven't been here very long. Bill, I still got one of my packing crates there from when we moved in. My bookcase is not really full of anything. So we will see what happens here. The Chief Government Whip is certainly within his right. If he wants to move me out of this office, he can certainly do it. And it's totally his call. And he may well make that call in the next few days. But we'll see what happens if he does. Now, I understand full well, as a member of Parliament, I'm in the lap of luxury here. And this is a gorgeous office, and when you take a look around, and I'm not unique here, this is not nicer than most. Most members of Parliament have exactly the same thing as I do, and it is a very, very privileged position to work in these buildings, to be next to Parliament Hill, and to have these kind of surroundings. The only thing that bothers me is truly about moving is the waste of it. And I hope it doesn't happen. And if it does, it's going to cost some money. And I think that is completely unnecessary. But you know what? You can agree or you can disagree. And if you disagree, well, the whip's name is Jay Hill. And his address is hill.j@parle.gc.ca. You might do what you want with that email address. Talk to you later.